Right, so inheritance and generalizations in non-relational databases pretty much suffers somewhat the same constraints, the same limitations that we found in relational databases, right? It is not supported natively by non-relational databases, or by Mongo anyway. Right? It doesn't have the concept of inheritance, right? So we're kind of stuck with the same limitations and implementation choices that we had in relational databases, right? Where if you want to have, if you want to break out multiple users, right, and there are different types of users, there are certainly 3 different ways that we could go about it in a in a relational database, right? We use the normalized version, the denormalized version, right? And kind of a combination of both. So in non-relational database, in Mongo in particular, we can model the inheritance by using the denormalized strategy, just like we would in a relational database, right? What we could do is that we could use a discriminator field, such as type or dtype, right? And the value of the of that field would let us know what is the intended purpose of this particular instance of an object, right? And so, for instance, if it's a faculty, then because it's a faculty, you might expect that that faculty has an office. Instead, if it's a student, the student is expected to have maybe a GPA, but maybe not an office. Okay, and so just like you would in a relational database, right? You would use the dtype as a discriminator, and then the different fields might have different meanings. Okay. Now, whereas in a relational database, you might balk at this, right? Because you have a denormalized implementation where lots of the fields, lots of the columns are going to have nulls, right? And sometimes it's considered to be, you're wasting all this space. Over here, we don't have that concern, right? Because the office field right here only exists because you are a faculty, right? You won't have, for instance, the GPA being equal to null or consuming any data, any space, right? Because the field is not even there, right? It doesn't even exist for that record document, right? So for in this case, Tim Berners-Lee and Ada, they both have offices. Neither one has GPA, but a student might have, right? So a student, John and Jane over here, might have GPAs 3.8, 3.9, but they don't have offices. So there's no concern here that you have certain fields empty, right, or unused, or with nulls or undefined, right? It's just the document doesn't even have that field, right? So we don't have that particular concern. Then obviously, if you want to retrieve students or faculty, you can retrieve them by type, right?